So I haven't found any questions about RPI apart from as part of student loan questions, but I have found a couple. This one on CPI, Consumer Price Index. So I'll just run through these. A loaf of bread cost £1 in 2005, and we want to use the graph to estimate how much the loaf will cost in 2013. So actually we can see that the loaf here, this matches up exactly. In 2005, this loaf cost £1. So in 2013, we'll go up here, follow it up so we can read up to our graph, and I think that is 144 or £1.44. So that's a 1 marker, just using the fact that in 2005 this was already £1. So we just need to follow the graph in 2013, read off the scale on the left. The next one's a little bit more tricky. So in 2011, Ellie spent £268 per month on groceries. And we want to estimate how much she would have spent on the same groceries in 2007. So in 2011, the Consumer Price Index graph here shows us that, I'm trying to see what it was, I think 134 in 2011. If I read up to here and along here, we get 134. So because hers was actually 268, we can do this divided by this to work out the sort of the ratio of times bigger hers is than what this graph represents. So we can work out this fraction and then multiply it by whatever the number in 2007 was, which is, trying to read it, it's not easy with these lines, 106, 107, maybe 107. I'll check the answers in a minute, and multiply it by 107 or £1.07, and that would give us the answer. And actually 268 over 134 is 2, so it'd be 2 times £1.07, or no, it must be 107, not £1.07, which is 214. Bit of sense checking there. So in 2018 it would have cost her £268, and in 2007 it would have cost her 214. So just a quick recap. I've looked at the values in 2011. I've worked out the value of the graph, which is 134, corresponds to this one here. 268, which was hers. I've divided 268 by 134 and multiplied it by the amount in 2007, which is this one here. And that gives me £214, and it is an estimate, so you'll get a bit of leeway. And this is the mark scheme, which just sort of reiterates what I said. So this one is UK house price index values. So it's a similar type of question. And here we've got house prices, the index from the years 2004 up to 2015. And the question is saying a house had a value of 180,000 at the beginning of 2009, and we've got to estimate its value at the beginning of 2014. Don't get too hung up on the beginning or the middle or the end. We'll just look at 2009. So if this house was 180,000 at the beginning of 2009, at that point the graph was round about here, with 158,000. So I've just lost my pen. 158,000 would be, oops, sorry, I need to do that again, is about here, about 158,000, and we want to know the estimated value at the beginning of 2014. So I'm going to use this 180,000, divide it by 158,000 to give us the ratio or the fraction that we know to multiply by the new amount. And the beginning of 2014, this is what we're going to estimate. So I would read this graph up and estimate that's about 190,000. So we're going to multiply this by 190,000. Stick it all in your calculator. 180,000 divided by 158,000, and then multiply it by 190,000, and I've got an answer of 216,455. They're asking for it with some decimal places. They're asking for it to the nearest hundred, so I would say 216,500. So, yeah, so my answer would be, if I was to write it neatly, 216,500. And I've done 180,000 from here, divided it by 158,000, from here, and multiplied it by 190,000 from here. And this is the mark scheme here. I'm not quite sure how they got this number from here, but there we go.